Guys, it's Paul's Trading here, and today we are going to teach a lesson on the two-legged pullback trap. So this is basically part 2 of the video I posted last week about the two-legged pullback. If you have not watched that video, you guys should watch that first before coming here. Also, I'm going to be saying some new announcements and a new series I'm going to start Tuesday or Monday, we will see. So the series of 1,500 to infinity, we're going to be stopping that. And I'm going to start an even better series that will provide even more proof and transparency about my futures trading. So I'm going to be getting into the announcements near the end of the video. If you guys want to skip straight there, you guys can go to the description box where I'll be saying the time frame where I'm stating the announcements in the new series I'm starting. So yeah, I'm gonna get straight into the lesson I'm teaching today, which is the two-legged pullback trap. This video will probably be short because it really goes off of what I said in the last video. So if you guys understood what I said in that two-legged pullback part 1 video I made, and this should be pretty easy to understand. I'm gonna review what we learned in the first video a little bit so you guys can understand that before I get into the trap, which is just a tiny adjustment from the two-legged pullback. So here, guys, is example number 1. So guys, what is this? Remember in our first video, we said that this is a downtrend. Remember, we are downtrending right here. This is our 0 leg. Remember, we stated this is our 0 leg, our downtrend. Okay? So this is our 0 leg. Then we're looking for our first leg up. So in this case, our first leg up would be this, okay? This would be our first leg up from our downtrend. This would not be our first leg up because we broke the low of this green candle. So this would be our first leg up because we did not break the low of this candle after our second leg, okay? So this is our first pullback, our first leg, okay? This is our second leg. This would not be our second pullback, but this would tell us that the first pullback is over, okay? So this is our second leg, okay? And now this is our third leg, or our second pullback. So remember, this is our first pullback, this is our second pullback, this is our first leg, but this is our third leg, okay? The second leg just means it is the end of the first pullback, okay? So right here is this is our third leg, or our second pullback. So usually, if we are just doing a basic two-legged pullback, we would sell the market right here at 4,576, okay? That's what we would usually do. If we did this in this example, we would be fighting for profit here. As you can see, we barely touched profit. And sometimes if our ask price does not hit this 4,575, which isn't demonstrated here, then that means we could not make profit on this trade or lose money. Now, this is where our trap comes in, okay? Our trap is built on our two-legged pullback, except it basically means that instead of shorting this market here, we would look for another leg, our fourth leg, which would be this. In this example, our fourth leg would go down to here. And then we would buy the market at 4,576.50 and eventually make profit, okay? So remember, the trap basically means we are adding another leg. That's all it means. So we add on to this two-legged pullback and add a leg. Now, when we take the trap, it's completely different. This is very confusing. So I'm not really going to get into that in this video, but I'll kind of give you guys an introduction when I explain this in a different video. So the times we take a trap are because of our support resistance lines. If you look at my live trading, you would see a bunch of lines that I draw, like for instance, from here to here. this would be a support resistance line. How I draw support resistance lines are very confusing, very confusing. So for instance, let's just say we have a support resistance line here, just for example, okay? If the beginning of our two-legged pullback, so at the end of the zero leg, at the end of our trend, if the low is within 0.5 of our support resistance line, which this would be, so we would adjust it here. And what this means is since we started at a support resistance line, we have to end at a support resistance line. That is a rule that I created, okay? So if our initial is at a support resistance line here, we would need another support resistance line here at 4576.75 in order for us to take this trade. But because we do not have a support resistance line here, because as you know, there is no support resistance line that is at this dollar, that means that we are going to take a trap. So remember that if our initial at the end of our zero leg or the beginning of our first leg, if we start at a support resistance line and we do not end at a support resistance line, then that means that we will take a trap 100% of the time. We will either take a trap or no trade. That is a requirement, okay? Another reason why we would take a trap is, for instance, if we start, let's say we start and there's no support resistance line here. Let's say that there's no support resistance line here, but there is a support resistance line right here. Okay? In this example, we would also take a trap. The reason why is because from where we would sell the market, which is at 4576, we do not have a dollar to the support resistance line. So that's another requirement. We must have a $1 move from where we sell the market in this example to the support resistance line. So for instance, if we move back the support resistance line to where it was earlier, now we can sell the market based off of that rule. Remember, we're excluding the fact that this started at a support resistance line. We're excluding that. If we exclude that, then we could sell the market here. That would be allowed based off of this rule. Or let's say the support resistance line was lower than this to where we do not start at a support resistance line. Then we do sell the market. So the two requirements for us to take a normal two-legged pullback, like I said, is one, we do not start at a support resistance line. So our first leg does not start at a support resistance line. And where we sell the market or where we buy the market, there is a $1 possibility to the support resistance line. Those are the two main reasons why we take a trade. Explaining support resistance line, I'm going to leave that to a couple of videos because it is very complex. So I'm going to leave that for another video. But for now, you guys should just understand that if there's a support resistance line there, then that means that we will take a trap. So if we take a trap here, that means we would buy the market at 4576.5. Okay, so if we took a trap, it would be here. So now I'm going to show you guys another example of when we would take the trap. Okay, and the example is literally right here. It's a second away. So let's continue how it would normally be. We would have a support resistance line right here at 4575. Remember, we just drew that. So basically, after this two-legged pullback right here, now, right here, this is a completely new two-legged pullback. As you remember, we're downtrending. You guys can see this would be our zero leg. So we're downtrending. That's our zero leg. And now you can see this is our first leg. Remember, we went up. So this is our first pullback, our first leg. And then we came back down. So this is our second leg. Okay, the end of the first leg. That's what it demonstrates. So now we have a very long move up. So we move up all the way up here. Remember, we moved all the way up here. Okay, this is our third leg or our second pullback. Okay, remember, because the first leg is at a two-legged pullback. Remember, because our first leg starts at a support resistance line, and that means that we will take a trap unless we end at a support resistance line. In this example, there was no support resistance line in this area, which means that we would 100% be looking for a trap unless there was a support resistance line in this area. The only other time we would not take a trap is, for instance, if there was a support resistance line right here. If there was a support resistance line right here, we would not be taking the trap and we would not be selling. We would not be doing either. The reason why is because when we take the trap, there is not $1 to the support resistance line. See, we would buy the market at 4578.75, and there would not be $1 to the support resistance line. So we would not be taking any trade in this example. But because there is not a support resistance line here, that means we would be looking for the trap. So remember, we had our first leg, we had our second leg, we had our third leg. All the trap does is add one more leg. So this would be our fourth leg, or this would be the end of our two-legged pullback trap, and we would buy at 4578.75, and we would make profit at 4580. So if you guys watched our day 3 of live futures trading, which if you haven't, you should, there was a lot of times where we could have taken trades. Like, for instance, this is just one of the times. I was trading during this time period. You guys can see it's 7 o'clock. I normally trade until 7:20. But I was not able to take these trades. If you guys watched, that means if you guys saw, I literally put in a market order around here, and I was about to move it up here, but I missed the trade. So yeah, that was my fault. But there was a trade we would have taken. In this example, though, there's another rule in this case that I would not take the trade, even though we made profits. I'm just showing an example here, but usually we would not be taking this trade. And I'm going to save that rule again for a different video. Right now, we're just explaining concepts, so this is a great example for the concept. Okay? All right, guys, here is another example of the two-legged pullback trap. So in this example, we're just going to say, here is our 0 leg, okay? This would be our 0 leg. So we are in an uptrend in this example. In the last examples, we are in a downtrend, okay? So in this example, this is our 0 leg, okay? So remember, our first leg or our first pullback would be a move down, okay? So this is our first leg or first pullback. Remember, this is basic two-legged pullback, okay? Our second leg would be here. This is our end of our first pullback. This would be our second leg. Our third leg, or second pullback, would be a move all the way down here. The reason why the end of our second leg, or our second pullback, does not end here, right here, instead of ending here, it does not end here because we do not make a new high or show the end of our third leg here, right here. We do not show the end of our third leg. So we would not buy here. So right here would be the end of our third leg right here. That's demonstrated because we made a new high right here. Remember, this is basic two-legged pullback. If you guys are confused on any of the things I just said, please watch my first video, the introduction to the two-legged pullback, okay? So now this is where the trap aspect comes in. Remember, the trap aspect, we just add another leg. So this would be the end of the third leg. So all we're doing is adding another leg. So the end of the fourth leg is up here. Okay, so our fourth leg, all we did was add this leg. Remember, guys, our support resistance line, I'm sorry, I forgot to mark it, would be right here in this example. The reason why it is right here will be in my next video next week. That is what I'll explain next week, how to find support and resistance lines and how to draw them. And then in the video after that, I'll explain how to adjust them. So in this video, I'm just explaining the trap. And remember, to base the trap, you need to see if there's a support resistance line. So we're just going to assume there's a support resistance line here where there actually would be if I was live trading. So remember, this is our 0 leg. Our 0 leg is this. So we're in an uptrend. And then here's our first leg, down. Here's our second leg, up. Here's our third leg, down. And the trap part is our fourth leg, which would be up. Remember, if we are in an uptrend, our fourth leg would go up. If we are in a downtrend, our fourth leg would be down. Because if we are doing a normal two-legged pullback, then we would be buying after the third leg and selling after the third leg. In an uptrend, we would buy after the third leg. In a downtrend, we would sell after the third leg. But since we are trapping, remember, we are trapping now, we would be selling if we are in an uptrend, and we would be buying if we are in a downtrend, if we are doing a trap. Okay? So remember, first leg down, second leg up, third leg down, and fourth leg in a trap would be up in an uptrend. In a downtrend, which was my previous example, it would be the opposite. First leg, it would be 0 leg down, first leg up, second leg down, third leg up, and then fourth leg or trap down, and then we would buy here. This is where we would buy. Okay? So this would be our uptrend trap example. So remember, in an uptrend trap example, you would sell the market at 4582.25 and make profit $1 below this. That is how this example would work. Okay, guys, so that's basically our examples for the trap. Hopefully you guys can understand what the trap is now. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I want to help you guys. I really do. So please, if you have any questions, let me know. Hopefully you guys can understand through these two examples I have shown. Support and resistance lines, I will explain them in my next video where I'm teaching you guys about my strategy. And there are a lot of other rules which I'll be explaining every single week. So hopefully you guys can stay, watch, learn, and apply what I'm teaching so you guys can create your own strategy where you guys can be successful. You can trade by yourselves and make a lot of money if that's what you guys want. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. And now I'm going to get straight into the announcement section of this video where I'm going to be explaining what I'm going to do in the future. So my announcement for this video will be that starting Monday or Tuesday, depending on what video releases tomorrow and what I am able to trade, I will be starting the Apex trading funding evaluation on the 50K account for you guys. So hopefully that goes well. You guys can watch my live trading per usual, but this time it'll be a 50K account, and it will be a completely new series, which I'm calling the Apex Trading Evaluation Series. And after that, if I pass, which hopefully I will, I'll be doing the Apex Account Trading Series, which will follow the real live trading, and hopefully everything goes well in that as well, so I can show you guys some real profits instead of demo trading like I'm doing right now. So yeah, that is the announcement for this video, and I hope you guys stay well and have a great day today, and I will see you guys tomorrow, which will show, per usual, my live trading from 6:35 to 7:20 and 8:10 to 9 o'clock. That will be my live trading for this whole week, hopefully. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.